MASH remains one of the most beloved TV shows, blending humor and drama seamlessly while portraying the emotional realities of war. As time has passed, many of the talented actors who brought these iconic characters to life have sadly left us. In this article, we take a look back at the lives and legacies of 37 MASH stars who are no longer with us, yet whose unforgettable performances continue to resonate with fans worldwide. Harry Morgan as Colonel Sherman T. Potter. Harry Morgan was born on April 10, 1915, in Detroit, Michigan. At 59, he took on the role of Colonel Sherman T. Potter in MASH in 1974, portraying a wise and compassionate commanding officer who led the 4077 with steady resolve and a sharp sense of humor. His character was more than just a leader. He became a father figure to the medical team, winning over audiences with his warmth and emotional depth. Beyond the screen, Harry Morgan's personal life was as rich as his on-screen presence. He married Eileen Detchen in 1940, a marriage that lasted over 4 decades until her passing in 1985. He later married Barbara Bushman in 1986, spending his remaining years happily by her side. In his later years, Morgan faced health challenges, and pneumonia ultimately weakened him. He passed away at 96 on December 7, 2011, in Los Angeles, California. David Ogden Stiers as Major Charles Winchester. David Ogden Stiers was born on October 31, 1942, in Peoria, Illinois. At 35, he joined MASH in 1977 as Major Charles Winchester, portraying a brilliant yet arrogant surgeon who brought a perfect balance of wit and depth to the series. His sharp intelligence and rare moments of compassion made his character both loved and frustratingly relatable. Stepping off the set, David Ogden Stiers chose never to marry or have children, opting for a life focused on his career and love for classical music. He even conducted orchestras. In his later years, Stiers battled bladder cancer, a quiet but relentless illness. He passed away at 75 on March 3, 2018, in Newport, Oregon. Larry Linville as Major Frank Burns. Larry Linville was born on September 29, 1939, in Ojai, California. At 33, he took on the role of Major Frank Burns in MASH in 1972, bringing to life an incompetent, arrogant surgeon who constantly stirred up tension in the 4077. His character provided endless comedic moments with his blunders and short temper, making him an unforgettable contrast to the show's other protagonists. Away from the chaos of the 4077th, Larry Linville's personal life was a roller coaster. He married 5 times, with his longest marriage to Kate Geer lasting from 1962 to 1975. In his later years, Linville faced lung cancer, and after surgery, complications from pneumonia set in. He passed away at 60 on April 10, 2000, in New York City, New York. McLean Stevenson as Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake. McLean Stevenson was born on November 14, 1927, in Normal, Illinois. At 45, he played Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake in MASH in 1972, portraying a laid-back yet deeply caring commanding officer who led the 4077 with warmth and kindness. His character's unexpected death in the series left audiences heartbroken, but it also solidified Stevenson's legacy as an actor capable of crafting truly memorable roles. Beyond his career, McLean Stevenson's life was full of love and challenges. He married Jenny Fosdick in 1980 after 2 previous marriages, and together they had a daughter. Later in life, Stevenson battled bladder cancer, and while recovering from surgery, he suddenly passed away from a heart attack. He died at 68 on February 15, 1996, in Los Angeles, California. Wayne Rogers as Captain Trapper John McIntyre. Wayne Rogers was born on April 7, 1933, in Birmingham, Alabama. At 39, he stepped into the role of Captain Trapper John McIntyre, portraying a charming, quick-witted surgeon who was Hawkeye's closest friend and partner in mischief. His charisma and energy lit up the screen, making Trapper an iconic part of the series. Beyond the battlefield, Wayne Rogers built a life of family and ambition. He married Amy Hirsch in 1988 after his first marriage to Mitzi McWhorter and had 2 children. In his later years, Rogers faced complications from pneumonia, which progressively worsened. He passed away at 82 on December 31, 2015, in Los Angeles, California. William Christopher as Father Francis Mulcahy. William Christopher was born on October 20, 1932, in Evanston, Illinois. At 40, he took on the role of Father Francis Mulcahy, portraying a gentle and devoted priest who provided spiritual comfort to the 4077th unit. His kindness and compassion made the character stand out, earning the love of audiences with every episode. Off the screen, William Christopher's life was grounded in love and resilience. He married Barbara Bailey in 1957, a lifelong partnership that endured, and together they had 2 sons. In terms of health, Christopher battled Parkinson's disease for many years, followed by small cell lung cancer. He passed away at 84 on December 31, 2016, in Pasadena, California, leaving behind a legacy of kindness. Kelly Nakahara as Lieutenant Kelly Yamato R.N. Kelly Nakahara was born on January 16, 1948, in Oahu, Hawaii. At 25, she portrayed Lieutenant Kelly Yamato R.N., bringing to life a dedicated and warm-hearted nurse who supported the 4077 with compassion and quiet strength. Though not a lead character, her presence enriched the series, making her sincerity unforgettable to viewers. Stepping into her personal world, Kelly Nakahara's life was filled with creativity and family. She married David Wallet in 1968, and together they had 2 children. Outside of acting, she was also a talented painter. In her later years, Nakahara battled cancer, keeping her fight private. She passed away at 72 on February 16, 2020, in Pasadena, California, leaving behind cherished memories for her fans. Lynne Marie Stewart as Lieutenant Baker R.N. Lynne Marie Stewart was born on December 14, 1946, in Los Angeles, California. At 27, she took on the role of Lieutenant Baker R.N. in MASH in 1973, portraying a dedicated Army nurse who made brief appearances in the early episodes, adding to the authenticity of the 4077 unit. Stepping away from the war-torn set, Lynne Marie married actor George Riddle, her longtime companion from the early days of her career, and they led a private life. In her later years, she battled liver and gallbladder cancer. Lynne passed away at 78 on February 21, 2025, in Los Angeles, California. Shizuko Hoshi as Rosie. Shizuko Hoshi was born on August 29, 1944, in Tokyo, Japan. At 33, she played Rosie in MASH in 1976, portraying a sharp-witted and friendly bar owner where the 4077 staff often found solace. Her humor and strong personality made Rosie a standout figure in the series' moments away from the battlefield. Away from Rosie's bar, Shizuko Hoshi lived a life of quiet strength. She married playwright Mark Lamos, and they shared a private life together. In her later years, Hoshi faced pancreatic cancer, a rapidly progressing illness. She passed away at 79 on May 1, 2023, in Los Angeles, California, leaving behind a small but memorable legacy. Judy Farrell as Nurse Abel. Judy Farrell was born on May 11, 1938, in Quapaw, Oklahoma. At 38, she played Nurse Abel, portraying a compassionate and dedicated nurse who supported the 4077 with professionalism and warmth. Her role contributed to the authenticity of the series. Beyond the hospital tent, Judy Farrell's life was intertwined with the show in a unique way. She married Mike Farrell, who played B.J. Honeycutt in MASH, from 1963 to 1983, and together They had 2 children. In her later years, she suffered a stroke that severely impacted her health. She passed away at 84 on April 2, 2023 in West Hills, California, leaving behind a story deeply connected to the series. Timothy Brown as Captain Oliver Harmon Spearchucker Jones. Timothy Brown was born on May 24, 1937, in Knightstown, Indiana. At 35, he played Captain Oliver Harmon Spearchucker Jones in MASH in 1972, portraying a talented neurosurgeon and one of the 4077's original doctors. Though his time on the show was brief, his presence left a strong impression. Off the battlefield, Timothy Brown's life was a blend of sports and entertainment. He never had a long-term marriage but had a career as a professional football player before transitioning to acting. In his later years, he struggled with dementia, a condition that progressively worsened. He passed away at 82 on April 4, 2020 in Palm Springs, California, leaving behind a diverse career. Soon-Tek Oh as Dr. Soon-Tek. Soon-Tek Oh was born on June 29, 1932 in Mokpo, South Korea. At 43, he portrayed Dr. Soon-Tek in MASH in 1975, playing a Korean doctor who appeared in multiple episodes, adding depth to the show's Korean war setting. His calm demeanor and professionalism enriched the series' narrative. Stepping into his personal journey, Soon-Tek Oh built a life rooted in culture and family. He married Patricia, and together they led a private life. In his later years, Oh battled Alzheimer's disease, which took a severe toll on his health. He passed away at 85 on April 4, 2018 in Los Angeles, California. Marcia Strassman as Nurse Margie Cutler. Marcia Strassman was born on April 28, 1948, in New York City, New York. At 24, she played Nurse Margie Cutler in MASH in 1972, bringing to life a gentle nurse with a hint of romance with Hawkeye, adding charm to the early episodes of the series. Away from the 4077th, Marcia Strassman's life was a mix of highs and lows. She was married to Robert Collector from 1984 to 1989, and they had a daughter. In her later years, she battled breast cancer for many years, facing it with remarkable resilience. She passed away at 66 on October 24, 2014, in Sherman Oaks, California, leaving behind a memorable career. Roy Goldman as Roy. Roy Goldman was born on November 12, 1932, in Los Angeles, California. At 41, he played Roy in MASH in 1973, portraying a medic and enlisted soldier who appeared throughout the series, assisting in the operating room and around the camp with quiet sincerity. His role was small but essential to the show. Off the set, Roy Goldman's life was less documented but meaningful. He was married and had a family, though specific details remain scarce. In his later years, he was weakened by pneumonia, which significantly impacted his health. He passed away at 77 on September 1, 2009, in Los Angeles, California, leaving behind a modest career. Mako Iwamatsu as Dr. Lynne Tom. Mako Iwamatsu, known professionally as Mako, was born on December 10, 1933, in Kobe, Japan. At 41, he played Dr. Lynne Tam in MASH in 1974, portraying a Korean doctor who appeared multiple times, adding to the show's multicultural depth. His calm presence and talent left a lasting impression. Stepping into his personal story, Mako's life was one of art and family. He married Shizuko Hoshi in 1966, and they had 2 daughters. In his later years, Mako battled esophageal cancer, facing it with unwavering strength. He passed away at 72 on July 21, 2006, in Somis, California. Edward Winter as Colonel Samuel Flagg. Edward Winter was born on June 3, 1937, in Ventura, California. At 36, he played Colonel Samuel Flagg in MASH in 1973, portraying a paranoid, over-the-top intelligence officer whose unpredictable behavior added a unique comedic element to the series. His character became a standout highlight. Beyond the intelligence games, Edward Winter's life was steady and private. He was married to Sandra Foster, and they led a quiet life. In his later years, Winter battled Parkinson's disease, a degenerative neurological disorder that progressively worsened. He passed away at 63 on March 8, 2001 in Woodland Hills, California. John Orchard as Captain Ugly John Black. John Orchard was born on November 15, 1928 in London, England. At 44, he played Captain Ugly John Black, portraying an Australian anesthetist with a laid-back demeanor and excellent medical skills. His presence enriched the early episodes of the series. Off the battlefield, John Orchard's life was a transatlantic journey. He married Vera Orchard, and they built a stable life after he relocated to the U.S. In his later years, Orchard battled leukemia, which took a serious toll on his health. He passed away at 66 on November 3, 1995, in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, leaving behind an international legacy. Robert F. Simon as General Maynard M. Mitchell. Robert F. Simon was born on December 2, 1908, in Mansfield, Ohio. At 65, he played General Maynard M. Mitchell, portraying a high-ranking officer who occasionally visited the 4077, embodying authority and discipline. His role added to the show's military realism. Stepping into his personal legacy, Robert F. Simon's life was long and full. He was married to Barbara Simon, and they had 4 children. In his later years, Simon faced Alzheimer's disease, which severely impacted his health. He passed away at 83 on November 29, 1992, in Tarzana, California, leaving behind a lasting career. Johnny Haymer as Sergeant Zelmo Zale. Johnny Haymer was born on January 19, 1920, in St. Louis, Missouri. At 54, he took on the role of Sergeant Zelmo Zale in MASH in 1974, portraying a hot-tempered supply sergeant who frequently clashed with Rizzo, creating some of the show's most memorable comedic moments. Beyond the supply tent, Johnny Haymer's life was vibrant and varied. He married Helen Haymer, and they had 3 children. In his later years, Haymer battled cancer, a disease that significantly impacted his health. He passed away at 69 on November 18, 1989, in Los Angeles, California, leaving behind a diverse career. Jerry Fujikawa as Whiplash Huang. Jerry Fujikawa was born on February 18, 1912, in Monterey County, California. At 61, he played Whiplash Huang in MASH in 1973, bringing to life a memorable minor character who, despite his brief screen time, added depth to the series. Off the screen, Jerry Fujikawa's life was rooted in resilience. He married Satsuki Fujikawa, and together they endured the hardships faced by Japanese Americans during World War II. In his later years, Fujikawa suffered from heart disease. He passed away at 71 on April 30, 1983, in Los Angeles, California, leaving behind a story of perseverance. Herb Voland as General Crandall Clayton. Herb Voland was born on October 2, 1918, in New Rochelle, New York. At 54, he portrayed General Crandall Clayton in MASH in 1972, embodying a senior officer who occasionally visited the 4077 with a stern presence and fatherly advice. His role highlighted the military structure within the series. Beyond the general's stars, Herb Voland's life was steady and private. He married Betty Jane Voland, and they built a happy family. In his later years, Voland suffered a sudden heart attack, cutting his life short. He passed away at 62 on April 26, 1981, in Riverside, California. Allan Arbus as Major Sidney Friedman. Allan Arbus was born on February 15, 1918, in New York City, New York. At 55, he took on the role of Major Sidney Friedman in MASH in 1973. portraying a wise and compassionate Army psychiatrist who provided much-needed support to the 4077. His character resonated deeply with audiences, offering both humor and insight. Off-screen, Allan married photographer Diane Arbus in 1941, and they had two daughters, Amy and Dune, before divorcing in 1969. He later married Marie Claire Costello in 1977, and they had a daughter, Erin. In his later years, he faced congestive heart failure and passed away at 95 on April 19, 2013 in Los Angeles, California. Richard Lee Sung as second Korean Kim Luke. Richard Lee Sung was born on August 14, 1930, in El Paso, Texas. At 43, he played second Korean Kim Luke portraying a fleeting Korean character who helped highlight the cultural backdrop of the Korean War. Stepping away from the war-torn set, Richard Lee Sung married his longtime wife, Jane, and they had two children, living a simple life in Los Angeles after his move from Texas. In his later years, he faced heart disease. Richard passed away at 91 on August 16, 2021, in the United States. Perrin Page as driver. Perrin Page was born on August 2, 1938, in the United States. At 35, he played driver in MASH in 1973, portraying a briefly seen military driver who assisted with transportation for the 4077 unit. Stepping away from the war-torn set, Perrin Page married his longtime partner, Clara, and they had three children, leading a quiet life in Los Angeles after his acting pursuits. In his later years, he struggled with diabetes and kidney complications. Perrin passed away at 81 on May 2, 2020, in Lindenhurst, New York. As we remember these 37 MASH actors and their incredible contributions to television, their legacies continue to inspire and entertain new generations of viewers. Their performances will never be forgotten, and their impact on the world of entertainment lives on. What's your favorite MASH star moment or character? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.